Is the approval of the regular meeting minutes of April 12th, 2011. I did have one suggested change with regard to the meeting minutes on page 2. Where to go? Page 2, there's a paragraph that starts, Alderman Wilson clarified that the city is not, it says the word is assuming. I think the word should be issuing the bond, so I propose that we amend the minutes to change assuming to issuing. And with, is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved as proposed. Item P1, approval of sidewalk cafe for Jimmy John's at 1729 Sherman Avenue. I think we have applicant here. I've reviewed the materials. I assume everyone else has as well. Are there any questions regarding the application?
Move approval.
Is there a motion?
Move approval.
A second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving Jimmy John's Sidewalk Cafe, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes to the council for action. Item P2, approval of Sidewalk Cafe for Bar Louie at 1520 Sherman Avenue. This is consideration to approve a first-time application for Sidewalk Cafe, permit for Bar Louie Type 1 restaurant located at 1520. Question for staff, is this a first-time application because the ownership has changed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval. Second.
And are there any questions or any discussion on Bar Louie's application?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. I would just like to make certain that the required setbacks are always observed. It seems that there have been problems with that in the past. And other than that, that's the only objection I have.
Okay. I presume that the city staff would, in instances if the setback is in fact violated, seek to enforce the setback requirements, correct?
We shall.
All right, thank you. All those in any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries, and this is recommended for action for the council. Item P3, Ordinance 31011, amending Section 14-13-1 of the City Code with regard to approval of plats. The staff is recommending approval of amendments to the City Code associated with the City Council's approval of subdivision plats. City Council had requested staff to investigate revisions to the City Code of 1963 to ensure that all plat approvals conform with the applicable ordinances of the city. I've asked city staff, Mr. Griffin, to provide us with a brief explanation because that probably doesn't mean a whole lot to most people. Could you give us a little description of what the purpose of this ordinance is, or amendments to the ordinance?
I'll be glad to, and Grant for her is here as well to address any particular questions you have. Steve Griffin with Office of Community and Economic Development. The purpose of the amendments is quite simply this. Over the last several months, as we've been working with a couple of subdivision plats, we noted that, since the code has been adopted since 1963, the city code is quite silent on a number of basic provisions, and we try to articulate that in our memo, and that being that the way the code is structured, it talks about the plat shall be approved and meet all ordinances, but it's very quiet on how the applicant and most importantly how the city council is assured and comfortable of how they're going to sequence the construction and what particular public infrastructure they're going to put in to support the subdivision. So in other words, you could have a situation where the plat's approved first, it goes to record, and then, oh, by the way, they're going to be constructing alleys or water and sewer facilities, et cetera. So what council did is basically constructed a subdivision ordinance amendment that on each case, the council can raise those very questions to make sure that the required public infrastructure, which is alleys, water and sewer, stormwater management systems, et cetera, are put in prior to or in conjunction with the selling or the development of the lots. So essentially, that's what the one ordinance amendment is proposing to do, and that when the council then approves a subdivision plat, they can also condition that plat on that sequencing and public infrastructure work. That's my attempt to basically boil down a whole lot of words in a very simple and I think a very practical approach on having the city council assure that the public is protected down the road.
All right, thank you for that information. With that information, is there a motion on the item?
Move approval. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that moves to the council for introduction tonight. And do we have any other items for discussion?
No, sir, that's it.
Any communications?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Can you tell us when the council meeting will start?
I think 10 minutes. Or immediately? Okay, so let's say, well, it says immediately, but give everyone a chance to get into the room, so 5 minutes, 5, 10 minutes from now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.